Well, as Borat would say, wawa weewa. We have got so much stuff going on in Major League Baseball right now. No players signing. There hasn't really been any free agent of notoriety that we need to talk about. I mean, the Mets have made a bunch of small moves. A bunch of teams have made a bunch of small moves. But what we can talk about has to do with the New York Mets, the Boston Red Sox, and we can also cover the Tigers and White Sox at the end. There have been some front office and managerial moves that have been made, and some pretty big ones. Let's start off with the Red Sox. Alex Cora is the new manager of the Boston Red Sox, and it's weird to say because he was the manager in 2019, was fired in 2020 because of the whole cheating scandal, the suspension, and now he's back, but ultimately it's the right move. We'll talk about that in depth. As well as the New York Mets, Steve Cohen, in his first official day of owning the New York Mets, that's today, made some big moves. He cleaned house. Brodie Van Wagenen, Omar Minaya, Alan Baird, and a bunch of other guys in the front office, they're gone, they're out of here, and a new era of the New York Mets has spawned. The Steve Cohen era has officially begun. So we're going to cover the Steve Cohen moves with the Mets. We're going to cover Alex Cora with the Red Sox. I'm going to talk about AJ Hinch to the Tigers and Tony La Russa to the White Sox. So if you like this video and you want to help support the channel, make sure to drop a like. Great way to show your support. Subscribe if you're new and you enjoy the content. Trying to hit 200K by New Year, so click that sub button, join the team. Remember to get in the comment section down below. Let me know what you think about all the moves that we're talking about in today's video. Brodie Van Wagenen being fired, Alex Cora coming back, AJ Hinch, Tony La Russa, whatever it is, get in the comments down below. And last but not least, make sure you drop me a follow on Twitter, Instagram, second channel, and Twitch. Links are in the description. I know I've been saying I'm going to stream the last few nights, but tonight, I promise you, we're streaming. I'm going to be going over my free agent predictions, going to be working on them, because of course that video comes out tomorrow, and you know, we'll be having some fun over there as well. So if you want to chat, twitch.tv/GiraffeNeckMarc. So of course, we're going to start off with my favorite team, the New York Mets. It's the most recent news that's come out today, and that's Brodie Van Wagenen, Omar Minaya. The entire front office has been gutted, has been cleaned out. Now, the Mets didn't say fired, they say these guys are now leaving the organization, but I think we can put two and two together and figure out that they've been fired. Brodie Van Wagenen, BVW, his reign of New York Mets GM is finally over, and it was a pretty horrible one. I know at the start I said in BVW we trust. I was gonna give him some credit. I thought that maybe he could help us get to the next level. Clearly that was not the case. There's a list of just trade after trade after trade after move in which you scratch your head and go, what in the world was Brodie thinking as the GM? Was he really in control? I know he was handicapped by the Wilpons because of course you can't spend as much money as you'd like, but Brodie Van Wagenen had consistently made bad move after bad move. Now, you do have to give him credit. There have been some good moves that he's made. Guys like JD Davis, finding him was a good move, and signing Justin Wilson was pretty good. But there's also just been so many bad ones. I mean, let's just talk about it. Robinson Cano and Edwin Diaz for Jared Kelenic, Justin Dunn, Gerson Batista, a bunch of other players. I mean, Jared Kelenic looks like he's going to be a generational talent. He would have been perfect to be our center fielder for the future, but of course we traded him for an aging veteran second baseman and a closer. Yeah, I mean, like, Edwin Diaz was good this year, but still, it's never going to be worth what Jared Kelenic is probably going to do on the field for the Seattle Mariners. That guy is a special player, hits, fields, runs, he just does everything so well. And even in terms of Justin Dunn, like, the Mets could use some starting pitching help this year. Justin Dunn would be a great guy to have at the back end of the rotation. He has some good stuff, has the potential to maybe move up as a better starter in Major League Baseball, and we got rid of him again for a veteran second baseman who has a big contract and a closer. So that trade is always going to be what basically holds back Brodie Van Wagenen. That's going to be the biggest smudge on his entire tenure as the GM of the New York Mets. You're never going to forget trading Jared Kelenic away from the Mets for Edwin Diaz and Robinson Cano. I mean, it put us in a hole with Cano's contract. Edwin Diaz, even if he is a good closer, still not worth it. It was a really bad start to his career with the Mets. Then he made some other trades. He traded for Stroman, gave up Simeons with Richardson, and Anthony Kay. Now, Anthony Kay I'm not worried about, but SWR looks like he's going to be really good, and of course, Stroman might be on his way out, so we got Stroman basically for half a year and traded one of our top pitching prospects. He's gotten rid of guys like Blake Taylor for Jake Marisnick. He's gotten rid of so many minor league arms that we could have used and could have been helpful for players that were terrible. Guys like, I don't know, Billy Hamilton, Jake Marisnick. Hold on, let me find the tweet. Jacob Resnick, I'll link you on the thing. Link you in the description down below. He put out a tweet of like all the moves Brodie made. Let's just go through them. The guys that they brought in and sent out. Okay, so guys that they sent out, here we go. Gerson Batista, Jay Bruce, Justin Dunn, Jared Kelenic, Anthony Swarzak, Adam Hill, Felix Valerio, Bobby Wall, Ross Adolph, Scott Manea, Luis Santana, Kevin Plawecki, Geraldo Catalina, Keon Broxton, Wilmer Font, Anthony Kay, Simeon Woods Richardson, Jason Vargas, Kennedy Corona, Blake Taylor, Jordan Humphreys, Tyler Batchelor, Steven Valinas, Victor Gonzalez, and Kevin Smith. And I know on paper, a lot of those players don't sound like great stuff, but there's a lot of arms that could have been used in the bullpen or in the rotation that the Mets have. And of course, Jared Kelenic, I'm not going to forget it. Also, we got rid of Travis d'Arnaud too, who won a Silver Slugger this year. I mean, the list goes on and on. And the guys that we brought in, It's not great. Robinson Cano, Edwin Diaz, Keon Broxton, Cody Bohannock, JD Davis, Sam Haggerty, Walker Locker, Wilmer Font, Brooks Pounders, Marcus Stroman, Austin Bossert, Jake Marisnick, Billy Hamilton, Ariel Gerardo, oh my god, Miguel Castro, Robinson Chirinos, Todd Frazier. So out of all the guys that we brought in, Cano was good last year, I'll give him that. Edwin Diaz was good, but again, you gave up Jared Kelenic. Broxton gone. Haggerty gone. Walker Lockett gone. Wilmer Font gone. Brooks Pounders gone. Marcus Stroman gone. Marisnick gone. Hamilton gone. Chirinos gone. Frazier gone. I mean, half of these guys are no longer with the Mets. We have nothing to show for it. We didn't even make the postseason. So to say that Brodie Van Wagenen was a good GM of the Mets, absolutely ridiculous. I mean, we hired an agent to be a GM for the first time ever in his career in the biggest market in all of sports New York for the New York Mets. What did we expect? I was overly optimistic. I'm not gonna lie. That's what I've been trained to be as a Mets fan. You get really, really excited at the start of the year, and then as the year goes on, you get kicked and kicked and kicked till eventually you get to a point of misery, and then they start to play well again, you get really high, and then you get really low again. But hopefully now with Steve Cohen at the helm, you got Sandy Alderson as the president, they cleared house, they got rid of all the stuff from the past regime except Luis Rojas, who I think is probably going to stay there. So yeah, Brodie Van Wagenen's out, Omar Minaya out. I was surprised about Omar, I didn't think he would leave. The rest of the guys, whatever, they're gone too. Sandy's taken over, we're going to get a new GM, going to get a bunch of guys in the front office, Steve Cohen's taken over, we got money to spend, a new era for the Mets has been born, and hopefully the Steve Cohen era is just so much better than the Wilpons. I can't imagine it's much worse. I'm very excited as a Mets fan. And Brodie Van Wagenen, see you later, man. Now, on to the other big news that we got today. Alex Cora to the Boston Red Sox. Of course, Cora was no longer the manager in 2020. The cheating scandal with the Astros and then the cheating scandal with the Red Sox. He was involved in both. They cut ties with him. He was suspended for a year. The Red Sox got punished. They had Ron Renicky at the helm. He was horrendous. They got rid of him. And after all the information about the Red Sox cheating scandal came out, it came out that, Alex Cora really wasn't doing that much in the Red Sox cheating scandal. Now, in the Astros, he was pretty heavily involved. But with the Red Sox, really wasn't that big of a deal. It wasn't nearly the scale of the Houston Astros. And still, at the end of the day, he was a good manager. It was suspected that he was going to manage again, possibly with the Red Sox after serving this one-year suspension. And that's exactly what happened. Chaim Bloom went out, got Alex Cora, who is one of the better managers in Major League Baseball, as we've seen with his time with the Red Sox. He won a World Series very quickly over there. He's a good manager. The players seem to like him. Wherever he goes, there seems to be success. And I think it's a really good move by the Red Sox. Renicky obviously was not the answer. And out of all the guys available on the market, I think it was down to him and Sam Fold. It makes sense that they stayed with Alex Cora, someone the players are comfortable with, someone that the players respect. Yes, he cheated, and that's always going to be a smear on his legacy. But at the end of the day, if you are the Boston Red Sox and you are a fan of them, you are very happy today getting Alex Cora back as your manager. Really good job by the Red Sox and Chaim Bloom. And I feel like that should signal to Red Sox fans and teams around the league, the Red Sox are going to be looking to spend this offseason. Now, if you look back at Alex Cora's past, of course, with the Houston Astros, George Springer, is that maybe a connection? Should they be going after him the most? No, they should be going after pitching, but there is an opening in center field for George Springer out in Boston. And they did just get rid of Mookie Betts. They need a guy on the outfield that's going to be a star. Verdugo's really good, but getting George Springer there makes that team a heck of a lot better. I'd expect them to make a really aggressive push for George Springer this offseason, get him back with Alex Cora, and the Red Sox can have another big name in that lineup to help that team improve in 2021 after a viciously terrible 2020 season. And then the last two things that we want to talk about, and I'm going to talk about them briefly. There's not a whole lot to dive deep into. We've got the Detroit Tigers getting AJ Hinch as their new manager, which I think is a really good move. Of course, another guy who was suspended for a year for cheating, this time with the Houston Astros. He was pretty heavily involved. I know there's a few reports saying like, oh, he didn't really know, but he had somewhat of a clue at least. That being said, he is still a very good manager. He was one of my favorite managers in Major League Baseball. I thought he was top. I thought he was elite, and I still think he is. Look at what he did with the Houston Astros, even before the cheating stuff and afterwards. He took a team that was terrible. He got them to play playoff caliber baseball. The pitching was very much improved. They made it to the World Series multiple years. They won one of them. He knows how to win. He knows how to develop players. He gets the most out of his guys. They've got a lot of young pitching prospects. Astros' specialty when he was there was their pitching. Their pitching always was good. They got the most out of their pitchers, made them into better players. There's clearly something there where AJ Hinch gets his players to perform at their highest level. And for the Tigers, who are in rebuilding, but starting to get a little bit better, I think it's a really good move. AJ Hinch is the right guy. He's the right person to get there. I really like this move from the Detroit front office, and Tigers fans should be excited for the future. And then the other AL Central team that got a new manager, Tony La Russa for the Chicago White Sox. This one I'm not crazy about. I personally didn't think Rick Renteria should have been fired. You've seen my ranking of him. I think he was a fine manager. I thought he was pretty good. I thought he got the most out of those players. They loved him. I was in the clubhouse during spring training, and they loved him. The dude was having a lot of fun, kept them loose, really gelled with the young players. You bring in Tony La Russa, I don't know know how it's gonna work. You got Tim Anderson who loves the bat flip, Luis Robert, Louis Bob, you got Eloy Jimenez. I mean, they're a very young, very fun team. And Tony La Russa, yes, he was progressive for the time when he was still managing, but it's been a while since he's been there. I mean, he's in the Hall of Fame right now. He's been inducted into the Hall of Fame. He's what, like in his 70s? I don't know how he's gonna really connect with these players, but in the same regards, exactly, I don't know how he's gonna connect with them. He might be the greatest manager to ever step in for the White Sox. Maybe he gels with the players great. Maybe he loves the bat flips. Maybe he loves all the pageantry and showmanship that the White Sox have. But to me, it just felt weird. You had a good thing going there. The White Sox were not expected to make the playoffs this year. Rick Renteria got them there. Why did you get rid of him, and why are you bringing Tony La Russa in? It just feels like a backwards idea to me. It feels like Jerry Reinsdorf doing the thing that he always does, which is try to take too much control of the team. But Jerry Reinsdorf, please keep your hands off the White Sox. They were great last year. Don't screw it up for them. I don't know how I feel about this one. It wouldn't have been my choice. That's all I'm saying. Otherwise, that's pretty much all the baseball news that we do have to cover. I know, the free agent video, it's coming tomorrow, guys. Remember, check me out on Twitch tonight, twitch.tv/GiraffeNeckMarc. Links in the description. I'm going to be streaming some stuff over there, going over free agent predictions. I'm not going to make my picks, but I'll talk about teams that are maybe in the loop for some of these guys. Remember to drop a like on the video if you did enjoy it, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any of the content, and follow me on Twitter, Instagram, second channel. You heard the Twitch. Links in the description as always. Thank you guys so much for watching. You know the drill from here on out. YouTube recommends you watch this video. This is my most recent upload. Click through those if you have not yet seen them. Thank you guys so much for watching. A new era of New York Mets baseball is here. Steve Cohen has taken over and Brodie Van Wagenen's gone. I'm so excited for the future. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you all tomorrow for another video, or maybe later tonight on Twitch. Bye.